Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ironis Insights. I got another guest here, Hunter Jensen, the founder and CEO of Barefoot Labs. Thanks for joining us, Hunter.
Thanks for having me on, Alex.
Where are you calling from today?
I am in sunny San Diego, California right now.
Beautiful. It actually happens to be sunny here in New York, which I will take any day. It's hit or miss over here. Beautiful, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Some really interesting things you got going on, but why don't you give us a little bit about your background and kind of how you got to where you're sitting today?
Sure, yeah. My background, it started in fourth grade when I got my first, IBM 386 and learned how to write code in QBasic.
Q Basic, yep.
Yeah, but really, I started picking up freelance programming jobs off Craigslist when I was in college.
Oh wow.
I came out to San Diego, did the freelance thing for a while, and then decided to get serious about building a business. And so I've been running Barefoot Solutions, which is a different company, which is a custom software development shop for over 20 years, kind of riding the wave of web and mobile and IoT and blockchain and machine learning and all the rest of it. Uh, and then as kind of these models are getting really good at writing code and it's putting my business model under threat. I identified a need in the market and started a new company, shifted gears, and we built Compass, which is bringing agentic AI to highly regulated industries like financial services and healthcare, life science, defense contracting, and that kind of thing. For mid-sized companies, the big boys have already figured this stuff out for themselves, but the mid-sized companies they need help, and that's who we build Compass for. So that's day to day. I still have Barefoot Solutions, but building out our Compass product and getting that into the hands of these enterprise users is kind of what I'm focused on.
Really exciting, man, and very smart of you to recognize the shift in, barefoot and making that pivot. I mean, that's a big move. I mean, you have to adapt in the world today, especially where we're in right, like in this field. And it sounds like you did it. Agentic AI is, something I'm trying to get out there more and share more about it. So I'm really glad you brought it up. So tell me about this. You're making specific agents for each individual industry and tweaking them for each company, or how does it work?
Yeah, so the way that it works is it's actually built to be fairly self-service.
Hmm.
Now, it's for regulated industries because it's self-hosted, meaning it goes on the client's servers, right? Not ours. The data never leaves your building, right? And that's a really critical piece of how we've set this up, which also means, you have your own code base, your own database, all the rest of it. And so the users at our customers are able to build out workflows and agents themselves, right? And there are some times where we'll consult and we'll help them build them out, and there are other times we've got some power users that are just
Yeah.
cranking out these agents, today. And so, it's an interface. It looks a bit like ChatGPT or Claude or what have you, with some extra sprinkled in, right? The key kind of components of agents as opposed to assistants, which are largely just chat based, are, a few things: memory, skills, and tools. That's pretty much what makes up an agent, right? And so we started as a chat-based assistant, and then, adding in the memory, the skills, and the tools, we now become agentic, and they can actually run for a while on their own, or you can schedule them to run, at certain times of the day, or once a month, or what have you, to really, bring agentic to, to these enterprises, right? We have this already at Barefoot. We've had this for 6 months. Every single employee on my team has an army of agents. I've got over 50 just for myself. I all day, all I do is either take meetings or work with agents. Like that's basically my entire day now. Um, but we're engineers here, and it's a little risky the way that we got this set up, and we have to put a bunch of guardrails in place or what have you. But man, the power, holy cow. My output is like 3x what it was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And the same thing is happening to my team. And so as we saw it ourselves, we thought, okay, it's time for the next phase of Compass, right? To bring it into this agentic era and bring the power that we're already, seeing for ourselves in our day to day.
I mean, it's amazing what efficiencies we can have, right, with these agents and just AI in general. But if you use it effectively, it can really like 3x output. I mean, let's go. I mean, it can only get better, right? I mean, because you're gonna get the agents will get smarter. You're gonna get better at using them. You're gonna get. It's just it's pretty exciting. Now you mentioned something interesting. It's a little risky. So I mean, working with a lot of regulated companies, like you said, people are kind of afraid of data exposure. So you mentioned something important, which was everything is on site locally to them, right? So how do you overcome this initial fear that I'm assuming most of these companies have, or at least ask you about, right?
Right. And so it's kind of a multi-step process
Yeah.
to get people comfortable with it. And it mirrors kind of what we did here. To start, when we initially deploy, yes, all the code, all the data, it's all on on uh, your cloud hosting or even on premise if you want. And it can connect to some of your systems. But typically, when we do an initial deployment, it's all read only to your
Hmm.
external systems. Read only, right? We don't touch it yet.
Hmm.
And we let the users get comfortable with that.
Hmm.
And then they naturally reach a point where they say, well, it would be fine if it just updated this one thing. Can we give it like granular permissions to just be able to do that thing? And say, yeah, we have that built in already. Let's flip that switch. Now it can do that thing. And so rather than just saying your agents can do anything, right? We ease into it
Mm.
because it's so new that it makes people uncomfortable. And we also have all sorts of regulatory and compliance needs, right? We have to
Mm.
have full auditability and traceability, and all the logging needs to be in place and all that. And so we start off with, having it be read only, and then over time we grant it more power or access as we're comfortable with. Um, and so that's how we overcome some of the like fear. But honestly, the minute you get your hands on one of these things, you're like the hair blows back. It's
It's more excitement
unbelievable.
than fear, right?
Right, like the step change
Yeah.
between an assistant and an agent is something that's so powerful that people very quickly are like, more. I want more of this, right? And you
Hmm.
actually have to throttle them a little bit because
Hmm.
it can be easy to make mistakes, people are giving agents access to their personal, to their emails addresses. Like you can't do that. That's not safe. That's prone to prompt injection via email or financial access, or there's some third rails here that you just shouldn't touch, right? But there's a lot that it can do. I mean, I've got it running my monthly invoicing. It's completely automatic. All it takes is a human review. And that's the other thing that we've built in, very, very purpose built, is very well-defined human gates, meaning at this step in the process, programmatically enforced, not just relying on an agent's judgment. At the programmatic level, you now need a human to go approve this.
Yeah.
And so we had to bake in human accountability so that people aren't just letting the agents run wild and not being accountable for what they're doing, right? And so always a human in the loop, always a human in the loop. That's just another fundamental principle of using agents safely, right?
I think I completely agree. And it just also goes to the fact where, at least right now, right, that AI is a tool. It's not really replacing anyone. Now, it will replace someone who will not adopt it and get friendly with it. Because you better know that every company wants to get this and get involved in this. Um, so you mentioned compliance. I just want to kind of go back to that. How are you overcoming compliance? Like, I mean, you mentioned you're diving right into these regulated industries, which is kind of like it's it's usually the opposite of what folks do. So I'm kind of curious. You have to tackle that first. Is that the biggest limitation? Uh,
Yeah, so really it was the opportunity that I identified
yeah,
is right because of just what you said. Normally you do compliance later after you have a mature product.
right,
One, there is not a single mature agentic product in existence. It just hasn't been long enough, right? So most of them are not for like highly regulated companies. Like most of the offerings, like a CISO at a law firm looks at 98% of them and is like, that's a non-starter,
yeah,
right? I have very specific rules that I have to follow, and these
right,
don't follow that. So not a chance. I don't even want a demo, right? And it was actually a buddy of mine who worked at a law firm that clued me in on this. He was like, we can't use anything. I can't use ChatGPT. I can't use, Copilot sucks and whatever. And it's like, and that's
yeah,
why that was kind of one of the reasons why we built this in the first place. And the other thing is just our ethos kind of across both Barefoot companies. And it comes from my background as an engineer. We lean into hard. Like we were building medical device apps, 10, 12 years ago. That's a highly regulated space. The FDA was reviewing our code because a wrong one or zero in there and someone could die,
right.
right? Because we were building an insulin pump app, of which we've done two. And so,
Incredible.
we always lean into the hard stuff because other people are afraid of it and because other people don't. It's a competitive moat for us because it is hard. It was hard. We're a small company and we're ISO 27001 and SOC 2 Type 2 certified. That is hard, right? But we've done it. And that gives us an advantage over the other folks that are, trying to build similar solutions. They don't do stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that barrier to entry, right, is that's probably what gives you that advantage because, like you said, you lean into hard. I like that.
Mhm.
You get, I mean, that's where opportunity is, right? So it sounds like you found that like that perfect uh, product market fit with these guys, and the responses like they're seeing the return and they're feeling good, uh, and and like I
Yeah.
mean, I imagine it's still a challenge to when you walk in there, whether it's C-suite, whether it's you work SMBs, right? So
Typically bigger than that,
okay,
but yeah, it is challenging to demonstrate the value of something like this because it's a fairly general purpose tool, right? It's how you use it that
yeah,
indicates. And so what we like to do, the easiest way to sell it into an organization is actually through a champion
hmm,
who's not a C level. They are the people that are going to use this
yeah,
in their day to day. And they say, hey, boss, this would save me and my team
yep,
hundreds of hours a month.
hmm,
Can we please get this? Right. And that has been historically the kind of the most successful path into an organization is through the actual operator
yep,
of the thing. And then when you deploy, you have your internal champion that helps with adoption, that helps teach other folks how they can use it in their day. And we hold like lunch and learns and demo days and stuff so people can, spark ideas across the teams. But to answer your question, we have people who get up every day and the very first thing they do is log into Compass and they spend most of their day in there. Like it's become an absolutely mission critical piece of their workflow. And we know because if there's even the tiniest little issue, we hear about it immediately because they are actively using it right then. So yeah, we're seeing great adoption, product market. Like I've been involved in probably 15 startups at some level, founder, investor, advisor, whatever. This is the strongest product market fit I've seen in any of them.
Yeah.
It's what people want right now. It's what they need when we have it.
And how are you meeting these folks? Like, how are you getting the business? I mean, you've been doing this a while now, but I mean, and you said you've already worked in a highly regulated space. So, I mean, I know you're not afraid of it, but I mean, how are you getting these introductions?
Yeah, we have a fairly unique program. I don't even know that I want to share the secret sauce, but I will. I will. Because again, there's a pretty big moat here. Um,
Right.
I've written a book. I've written a book, and both guest and host on podcasts. Um, and we, the book is called The Killer Use Case, a framework for AI adoption at mid-market companies. We find the folks that we like, and we ship them the book with a handwritten note inviting them on my podcast.
Yeah.
And you know this, and this is probably why you host a podcast too. Then you get to meet people,
Yeah.
the right people, and
Yeah.
you get to talk to them for like half an hour and build a relationship, just like you and I are doing right now. We'll
Mhm.
stay in touch after this, right?
Yep.
And so, the book is the kind of, the attention grabber. Like, when's the last time you got a book in the mail? Um,
A physical book too. I
yeah, like
don't
an
not an
actual,
audible link in an email.
no, an actual physical book with a handwritten note.
Yeah.
And
Back to the basics, man.
yeah, but like, hey, look, it takes 6 months to write a book, right? And so that's again us leaning into hard. Writing a book is hard. Getting it published is hard. But that means that I feel like I can tell you my strategy and your listeners, because even if they wanted to copy this strategy, which they're welcome to, and I'm happy to introduce you to my publisher, it's going to take you 6 months, just to get started, right? And so that's kind of our primary strategy that we've been working on for a long time, not just the book, but all of it, the entire pipeline. And oftentimes at the end of the call, at the end of the podcast, you turn off the recording and you say, "Hey, you mentioned that you're worried about your employees using their personal ChatGPT accounts. Did you know that we actually have a product that solves that problem?" And they say,
Mhm.
"Oh, interesting. I'd love to learn more." And look at there, you just found yourself a lead.
Yeah.
Um, and the added benefit is like I'm getting to meet like super interesting people. Like even if they're not a lead, it's like fun to meet all these new people that are doing
Exactly.
interesting things with AI.
And
Yeah.
that's what I found too. It's making another human connection is also just incredible, and who knows who you can introduce them to. Uh, I Hosting this podcast has really been a gift. Just how many people you meet, all different walks of life, all over the country, all in different stages of companies.
Hmm.
It's great. It really is.
Yeah. And especially right now there's like a war on authenticity,
Mm.
right? Like the outbound channels are not working anymore. LinkedIn is just AI slop everywhere,
Yeah, it's
right? I never know if a human wrote something I'm reading.
right.
M dashes galore, right? Like everywhere you look. Um, and so, rather than go with the crowd, right? We're trying to go to the other direction and be truly authentic. Like I write a newsletter that I pour a lot of time into. It's not AI generated, right? It helps me research and stuff, but I write it. And like I write every LinkedIn post. Like it's all authentic. And so that's like you said, it's about building relationships and relationships are based on trust. And there is a lack of trust in content in general right now, just online. And so how do you build trust? It's through stuff like this, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, the only way you really can is pick up the phone, make a phone call, or have
Hmm.
a video chat, even better,
Hmm.
right? I mean, that's really the only way you can have that human connection. Even texting now, it's you don't even know who you're talking to. Emailing, right? Uh, it's you're right. And LinkedIn, I'm not going to get into AI slop, but
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. You're exactly right, man.
Yeah.
So, if you had a magic wand, and you could fix one thing. It's one question I like to ask everybody. What would you like to see right now?
Like in my company or in the world, or what are we talking
Well, I
about?
mean, we don't have to get as broad as the world, but we're
Okay.
talking about your company and what you're trying
Yeah.
to accomplish and all the challenges we've seen with AI implementation, compliance, whatever it is to you. What comes first thing to mind?
Yeah. My biggest challenge right now is I'm not used to kind of working with bigger enterprises.
Hmm.
Barefoot Solutions tended to work with smaller companies than Barefoot Labs is. And we move very fast, and these organizations move very slow and are like there's like politics and uh, just all these approval checks and,
Yep.
security and all of it. And it's kind of a drag.
Yeah.
I want to move at the speed that I'm used to moving, which is even way faster than it used to be. But I'm having to slow down. I'm
Hmm.
having to slow down because, and it's not the selling, it's it's the selling, but it's the deploying into these enterprises. It's just a lot. It's just a lot of work. And so if I could make one thing go away right now, that would probably be it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I used to work at a Fortune 250 company. Um,
Yeah. So
and I became absolutely obsessed with making things more efficient after working there.
mhm.
And I was just absolutely shocked by how slow everything moved. I mean, it came from everything from an attorney redlining something with a pen and paper or not having a CRM. I'm like, guys, is this really what we're working with here? I mean,
Mhm.
this was 10 years ago, but I mean, at the same time, there were tools available.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just shocking how slowly these larger organizations work.
And like you said, everything, approval processes, gets lost in one middle management email. That's done for 2 weeks. Then it's another 2 weeks for the one who's more senior, who's actually busy, to even look at it because it's a priority level, right? And then
Yep.
I don't have to go down this path, but you understand exactly what I'm talking about. So
No, I do. I
I
feel it.
love what you did with your magic wand. That's literally why I started Ironis, like literally,
Really.
because of these reasons. You nailed it
Yeah.
on the head,
Yeah.
100%, man.
Oh,
Um,
love it.
yeah, I mean, this is great, man. This has been an awesome chat. I really appreciate your time. So first, I want to plug your book. You want to give us the name of your book again, and where can the listeners find you and your company?
Yeah, so the book is The Killer Use Case. I find it on Amazon. Um, and then for me and my company, as a thank you to you, Alex, for having me on today, I'd encourage people to reach out literally to my email address directly. And in the subject line, I want you to say, I heard you on the Ironis podcast, because otherwise I won't read it. But I will read that, and I promise you'll get a personal response from me. And that's just as a thank you to you for having me on. So Hunter at barefootlabs.ai. Check out our website, barefootlabs.ai, and I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, and you can find me there. But don't message me there. That's overload. Send me an email.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. I'm going to put those all below the video here for you guys. And thanks so much, Hunter. I really appreciate your time, man.
Thanks, Alex.